So picture this. It is a cozy fall day of the weekend or the week. You have some cozy PJs on, a nice set, and you want some soup. So what do? Well, you put on that cozy set and you make some soup. So today we're going to make Zuppa Toscana at home. And we're gonna put on our cozy little outfit to make our soup. So if you like cozy fall weekends, then keep on watching. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Shalina B and today we are cooking some soup. Zuppa Toscana is one of my favorite soups at Olive Garden, but also to make at home. I love the copycat recipes because I can bring all the things that I love at home and my family can enjoy it as well. And I love making things at home because I know what's in them. I can alternate ingredients if I need to because I do have children with allergies and some that are just a little more selective. If you are new here, hello, hello. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you decide to subscribe and tell a friend to join our community here. Again, I am Shalina B and I am the go-to mom for family meals and family routines. And I also teach busy moms how to prioritize your self-care because through all of these family meals and routines and managing our families, we have to take care of us so we can continue stewarding our homes and being the best moms that we can be. So there are two things that I really enjoy, and that is food and cute outfits. So what better way to fuse the two by having my food and my fit today to show you how to make some good food and a cute fit that you can wear as well. For those of you that don't know, I have 4 babies. I have twins. They are 8 years old. I have a toddler, he is 2, and I have a baby girl who is 1. So we're a busy mama around here. And being that my baby girl is 1, I am officially 1 year postpartum. So as you know, the body changes, especially after 4 kids. The body has changed quite a bit, but I am learning to embrace all of the extra love, all the hormones, all the acne, a lot of those things. And thank God I have been able to still nurse. So we've been going strong. Now a full year of nursing. But as you know, if you have nursed or tried to nurse, it is a lot of work. So kudos to you if you tried any amount of time, or kudos to you if you decided nursing is not for me. I'm gonna provide my baby with the nourishment that's going to be the best for their health and my well-being, because that is important as well. Yes, I love a good easy breezy outfit. You know, sets are all the rave. They are in. And when I went into Victoria's Secret and saw this set, I knew that I had to have it for the fall season. So this is the cotton poplin logo sleep pants and the oversized sleep shirt with the sleep bra. And I wanted to get this. When I saw this in the store, one, it was on sale, so I love a good sale. But also, while I'm at home, I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4. I'm at home all day with the kids. The oldest 2 go to school, and the youngest 2 are at home with me. And there are some days where I don't want to get dressed because unfortunately sometimes when I get dressed, the clothes get dirty because the kids and their hands and everything like that. So I wanted an easy breezy outfit that I could throw on. I can go grab the mail. I can have and enjoy a cup of coffee. I can do my morning self-care and my devotional because mamas, our self-care is important. My self-care routine includes my devotional, my prayer time, some stretching, and my skincare routine and getting dressed. Because I try to think about the things that I need every day to make sure that I am my best self before I take care of my family. And those were the things that I just knew that I needed to make sure that I was whole each day. So think about your self-care routine. What things do you need to make sure that you have joy, to make sure you're whole, to make sure that you are ready to tackle whether it's your family, it's your career, your boss, employees, colleagues, students, if you're a teacher, so many different areas that we have to show up, but we have to show up for ourselves first. So so for me, I thought that this outfit was perfect. One, I feel like it is very versatile. This buttons up here. Again, this is a little sleep bra. You can sleep with it. You can throw it back on. I can nurse in it. It's really lightweight. It feels really good. It doesn't really hug too tight. Of course, the pants have pockets. I got mine a little more fitted. These are a large. Both are larges. I could have gone up bigger to be more oversized, but I'm trying to wear things that are more tailored to my body, because one of the things after postpartum, I really started to dress too oversized because I was trying to hide myself, because I didn't like how much weight I had gained and I didn't like the way I looked. But a part of my just embracing the change of being a mom of four, of having multiple C-sections, I had a emergency hysterectomy. It was very traumatic. All of those things are a part of me now. So I wanted to embrace the me that I am. So I got a large that fits pretty good. I do have a little pouch here, but that's okay. I think that these are very forgiving. They are loose. They don't have a lot of stretch. They have a stretch in the waistband, but not a lot of stretch in the thighs. So keep that in mind. They do have pockets. So you know we love a good pocket. And if you can see where they hit me I guess right below at my foot. So it's a good length as well. I have this in two colors. I have this in this burgundy and white stripe, and I also have a teal and white stripe set. They also come in shorts. So I will link all of those below if you're interested in shopping them. But I think that these are great pieces for the fall. And I think it's a great thing to cozy up on a fall day and make some soup. So here's the fit. Now let's get into the food. Okay, so now we are ready to prep our Zuppa Toscana soup. I also love this recipe because it is a one-pot recipe. And again, busy mom here. I love cooking meals that are 30 minutes or less, or something I can simmer. I'm okay with a little prep time, but then I can simmer it, set it, and forget it, because I don't always have time to sit over a stove, chop up a whole bunch of different ingredients, try a lot of new things. Like, I like simple meals. So this is definitely one of those. And as the weather gets a little cooler, I'm all over it. I love chilies and other soups as well, but Zuppa Toscana has my heart. So the ingredients you need, I'm not a big measurer, by the way, so I will link a similar recipe down below, but I have been known to add my own little things here and there just to spice it up a bit. But I will link that recipe if you're interested. So of course it uses Italian sausage. I have pork sausage here, but you can use turkey sausage. I'm sure they have like an alternative meat, Beyond Meat type of sausage as well if you want an alternative. I'm just gonna use this pork here. You need your chicken broth, of course. I have a couple seasonings. This recipe doesn't call for a lot of seasonings, but I have some Italian seasoning that I'll add at the end. This is a Kinder's blend of salt, pepper, and garlic. I love this blend. If you haven't heard of the Kinder's seasoning line, you got to get with it, because they have so many great seasonings out there. So it takes place of you having multiple seasonings at once. They just combine everything in one container. So I love it, and the blends taste great. And then a little crushed red pepper for a little spice. If you don't really like spice, you can leave this out, but I'm a fan of it. And I also like to add a little bit of hot sauce in my bowl right before. So that's just a little tidbit. Of course, you're gonna have your garlic that you'll saute in, your onions. This is another tip. You don't have to use fresh onions if you don't want. Same with garlic. If you want to take the time to mince garlic, to cut up your onions because you want that fresh and fragrant taste, then go ahead. But the already minced garlic and frozen onions will do the trick as well. You're also gonna need some kale, of course. You can't have Zuppa Toscana without the kale. Some potatoes. I'm using some golden potatoes. They are my favorite. And lastly, you need some cream. My 2-year-old has a milk allergy. I'm using some coconut milk. I thought I had coconut cream and maybe I used it, or maybe they didn't have it in the store, but this is what they had, the light coconut milk. So just to give it a little bit of cream. So I may add a little bit of plant-based butter and a little bit of this coconut milk, and it'll do the trick just like some cream. It may not be as heavy as cream, but it'll do the trick. So you can use regular heavy cream, or you can use an alternative as well. So those are all of your ingredients. So let's get into the prep work. So first I'm gonna start by cutting up my potatoes, getting that out the way. This will probably take the longest between cutting up your potatoes, browning your sausage, and massaging and cleaning your kale. I'll talk a little bit about that later. Those are your prep things. So I like to get the prep out of the way first. So then that way, once I'm ready to get to that step, it's already done. So I've washed up my potatoes, and now I'm gonna cut them into like coined scallop size pieces. I'm not going to take the skin off. That's why I wash mine. That's why I wash the skin of the potato, because I like to keep the skin on. The recipe does call for 1.5 pounds of potatoes just for measurement purposes. I guess it was well worth the try, because there's something in our comfort that's hard to replicate. I know just where I wanna stay, and we could stay right here. Okay, so our potatoes are cut. I decided not to do this one because I felt like this would be a little overkill, but this looks like enough for the amount that we're going to make. So now we're gonna go and start browning our sausage. And while I'm doing that, we're gonna have a little chit chat, because I wanna talk to you all about, I would say, an unpopular opinion or an unpopular topic that I don't really see or hear people talking about. And that topic is about not being in your winning season. Often we hear about when you're in your winning season, when you are going, you're a boss, you're doing it, here's how to grind, get out there, all those things. But what about the times where things are slowing down? What about the times where people around you are in their winning season and you aren't? It can really make you feel some type of way. You know, sometimes we are in different transitions, different seasons, like the fall. The fall is a big transition from you coming off of spring, summer, and then we're transitioning into fall. And the one thing about these seasons that is consistent is change. So not only is the weather changing, the leaves are changing, the atmosphere, the weather, all of that is changing, but also our outfits are changing, our moods are changing. All those shifts can feel so uncomfortable. A lot of us are in a phase of, what do we do next? Where is the direction? What do I want to do? And sometimes it can be uncomfortable being in these phases. So I'm going to talk about 4 phases that you might be in, and if you are in, what you should do in each of those phases. And to know that this is normal. Like, being in a non-winning season is okay. For me, it's like, well, where do you have time for God? Because if you're always winning, yeah, we're like, praise God, thank you, we're doing it. But where is the moment to pause, and where are the trials and tribulations? Where are the periods of, I need you, God, I need to seek you, God, I need to go deeper, God, I need to hear from you? Because sometimes that may not connect. You know what I mean? Like, when things are good and we are praising God, when it's good, it's good. But when it's not, sometimes it's a time to come to him. Sometimes that's a time in that season of change to be like, okay, God, I feel a little lost right now. I'm not in my winning season. I'm feeling away because everybody's around me in their winning season. Why do I feel like this? What's going on? What do you want me to focus on in this season so I can prepare for my next season? Maybe your next season may not be a winning season. But again, we're going to talk about those 4 phases after we brown our sausage. You do want to remove the casing for the sausage, so you just make a little cut. You probably could use a different knife, but that's what we got. Just make a cut and slide it right out of the casing. It's been a little stubborn. Okay. Now that your meat is browned, you want to put that aside and prep your kale. You're going to wash your kale and begin to pull it off of the stems and break it up into smaller pieces. As you are doing that, of course, look for holes, discolored pieces, dirt, anything of that nature while you are washing it. And then you want to massage your kale. And there are several benefits to massaging your kale. It tenderizes it, breaking down the tough fibers, making it softer and easier to chew and digest. It infuses flavor. Some of the recipes call for olive oil or lemon to massage into that to break it down, because that infuses flavor. But right now I'm just using my hands and water. So that's a way you can do it, a quick way you can do it, or you can do olive oil or lemon as well. And it also reduces the bitterness. So breaking it down, it breaks down some of those enzymes, and it makes it more pleasant to eat. So those are some tips when using kale for salads or for meals or soups such as this. You want to make sure that you massage that kale so you can break it down and have the best flavor in your dish. Now that we have browned and drained our meat, we've reserved the good stuff at the bottom, the oils and the flavor at the bottom. And now we're going to cook our onions, our garlic, and add our ingredients so it can simmer. The recipe calls for about 1 medium peeled and diced white onion. That's probably a little less than that, but we're going to work with it. Okay, while our onions are sauteing and before we put the garlic in, let's talk about our topic. So let's understand what phase you are in for this season. And I like to call them your season's 4Ps or your 4 phases. The 4 phases include productive, pause, present, and positioning. And this came to mind because, again, we have our off seasons. Whether you are a 9 to 5, an entrepreneur, stay at home mom, managing the family, whatever roles you have, we go through our seasons of productivity. We go through our seasons of pause. We go through our seasons of we need to be present or we should, and positioning. So let's talk about the productivity season. I feel like the productivity season feels like our winning season. It feels like we are going, we are doing. Everything is going as planned. You have planned, you're doing your routines, you're doing your self-care. Everything is working out. And this is the season that you want to maximize your time and your energy in a healthy way, of course. So making time, again, for those routines, not only your own self-care and daily routine, but your family routines. That can include your cleaning routines, your kids' school routines, morning, after school, and evening routines. If you're home with your kids, having a structured day for your kids, as much as it sounds good just to kind of let them play and have no order, they still need structure even around their play, because it's only going to teach them how to have a little bit of structure, how to know when to play and when not to play. So all those skills are just helpful, and for you too, so you can organize your time during your day at home. You have your cleaning routines. Maybe you connect with your spouse to tag team the household to figure out what things you need. You definitely need a meal planning routine. You want to have a meal plan in the back of your pocket, because on those days where you are tired, exhausted, kids are sick, everything has gone on, the last thing you want to think about is food. Especially if you want to stay on budget, you definitely don't want to have to spend money that you didn't plan on spending. So that's the productivity phase. I'm going to add my garlic. I'm also going to add my potatoes now as well, so they can start softening a little bit, and then we'll end up boiling them in that chicken stock. So that's the productivity phase. And while we are motivated in the productivity phase, everything is going smooth. Then there comes a point where things are going to slow down. And then you enter into the pause phase. And the beautiful, bittersweet thing about the pause phase, I feel like the pause phase is when God is tapping you on your shoulder to say, hey, come talk to me. Come to me. You've been so productive. You've been going hard, but maybe you're lacking time with me. So I need you to come to me so I can help you and guide you to your next step or your next direction. So the next area is pause. So again, this is a time of stillness. This is a time where you need to look inward. You need to go to God, talk to God, or just even be in his presence. Find your prayer closet and to really just meditate and just be in his presence so he can tell you what it is that he needs from you or you need in your next season. The bittersweet about it, pause doesn't feel good because when you are going hard and you are productive and everything is going well and all of a sudden you're at kind of a halt or it feels like everything is stopping, it can be very disappointing. It can be discouraging because you're like, oh my goodness, what is happening? I was winning, I was doing it, and now I'm not. But just know that there is purpose in your pause. So don't feel like it's a waste because there is definitely purpose in that. So now we're going to add our chicken stock. I'm gonna let this cook a little bit and then I'm gonna add my chicken back, but I want these potatoes to get a little softer. Since our meat is already done, it is the stock pot itself. It's its time to shine. While this is cooking, I'm going to add that Kinder's blend that I mentioned earlier. Obviously it doesn't have a label here, but we're gonna add some of that to the stock. And a little bit of that Italian seasoning. Mix it up. And then we're gonna let that simmer and do its thing. So while that simmers, I'm gonna take a seat and wrap up the rest of our conversation. So again, talking about our winning season, when you're not in your winning season, and the areas that you might be in, and how to focus, what to do in those times. So we talked about your productivity phase, which is maybe like your winning phase, you're doing it, you're motivated, and then things slow down. You get into your pause phase. You feel like you're at a stop, you feel discouraged, disappointed, but now you know I need to lean into God. I need to grow deeper into God. I need to connect with God. I need to open my spiritual ears and eyes and my heart to hear what God is trying to tell me in this particular season, in this pause season or phase that I'm in. And once you hear from God, once you connect from God, once you've allowed yourself to pause, to slow down, because we really want to be intentional about slowing down in this season because we've been going and going and going so fast and we've been getting a lot of things done. But you have to have that time for rest, and rest is intentional. Self-care is intentional. Time with God is intentional. So then we transition to the presence phase. And along with that pause, being present is also intentional. So being present with your family, being present with yourself. Maybe this is a time where you reconnect with yourself and you figure out your self-care, your hobbies. What are things that you find joy in that isn't something that's profitable or something that you have to do or something that is tied to somebody else? But truly, when is the last time that you did something for yourself and yourself only, not tied to somebody else? Again, not tied to finances and profit, but for yourself. I think hobbies are a great thing. I love to go to movies by myself. I love to take a bath at the end of the week or beginning of the week. Typically on Sundays, I like to take a nice bath because it's just a moment for me to pause, decompress. I watch one of my shows and I know that that is me time specifically. So that is one way I like to decompress. I like to do journals and devotionals and things with prompts. I think that those are really cool as well. I like to meditate. Just lay there and just meditate. Listen to a sound bath or a peaceful playlist. They're my favorite because they're instrumental. And I feel like it just like massages my brain waves or just, my thinking. It just massages it to where it's kind of calm and they're not busy and moving all around. So I think that that is very important. It's kind of like a recalibration, if you will. That presence phase is a recalibration because you're not worried about the past. You're not worried about your future, but you are literally in the here and now. And you'd be surprised how much being present just does not happen nowadays. Sometimes we think that we're being present with our kids, but we're trying to multitask and do 1,000 other things. And I know mom guilt is real. We feel like, oh, we got to get the house clean, but I have to spend time with all of my kids. Trust me, having 4 children and a husband, it is hard. And I feel like it's hard sometimes to balance my time, to balance my energy, and to have time for myself. But I always tell myself how I combat mom guilt is quality over quantity. I've said it over and over again. If you've been following me on Instagram, my lives, or if you're new here, quality over quantity. Say that thing to yourself to try to combat your mom guilt. If I spend quality time, if I am present with my kids, whether it's 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, you can dedicate a certain amount of time to it. But I bet you they'll remember that little time that you spent with them or that activity that you did together versus you spent hours with them, but you were distracted or you were irritated or upset or you were trying to do 1,000 things because the attention was not on them. So be present. Spend more time. Be present with whoever you feel that you need to. If it's friends, maybe you need to reach out to friends and put it on the calendar. Hey, let's go to lunch. Let's go to have coffee. Let's have a FaceTime date because a lot of my friends don't live near me anymore. So we have FaceTime dates, or we love a good voice memo. That is my thing. I love a good voice memo, and we send them and receive them like podcasts and a whole series of a show. But that's our way to connect and, find and keep up with each other because our lives are busy. And then me and my husband, I feel like you and your spouse, is so important that you continue to connect because as you have kids, as the seasons change, as life gets busy, you don't want to become two ships in the night that you just pass each other and you don't connect. That's something that my husband just said the other day, like we need to get back to having our designated day of the week together because obviously with several kids, we can't get out and go on dates like we used to. Babysitters are expensive, but since if we can't, we try to have fun date nights at home and just spend some time together, ask about each other's day, talk through some issues or problems we may have, prayer requests. We try to pray together. We do devotionals together. That's something we've been doing since the beginning of 2024. We are doing devotionals in the Bible plan together. So that's been our way to connect with each other. So just that present time is what you need because again, when you go from that busy productive phase, you've paused and slowed down, your body can recalibrate because you're recalibrating your system to be present, to think about the here and now, to love on your loved ones, to be surrounded by your support system. And when you're transitioning into a new season, you need that support system. You need to be around love and joy so you can really be covered because we don't know what to expect. We don't know what's happening. And what we don't want the enemy to come in and the spirit of comparison to come on us because maybe this person did this thing. They launched this new product. They are coaching a new cohort. They are making all this money. They're showing up. They're having all these speaking engagements and you're not. And it can feel icky. It can, especially because you feel like, okay, I should be winning. I should be in my season. I've worked so hard and nothing is happening. But know that your time is coming and know that God has not forgotten about you. And know that your blessing is around the corner, but do your part. Lean on God, seek God, spend time with God, and be present in the moment because life is short. Life is so short. And the older I get, the more I realize how short life is. So I am trying to slow down. I am trying to regulate because as a type A person who loves planning and routines and all those things, for me, it's a form of control in a way. I like to have control of my schedule. I like to have control over the house being clean, having routines, knowing when to expect things. It can be very stressful and overwhelming, but I am trying to still maintain those things because I think order is great to have, and I think it's good skills for your kids, but I need to slow down so I can slow down my nervous system and again, be present and in the moment because it's going to help me when those busy seasons come again. So that is the present phase. Okay, I just checked on the food. It is boiling and everything is going well. The potatoes are starting to soften a little bit. So we're gonna let that continue to simmer. And then once I wrap this up, we'll go back and add our meat and add our rest of our ingredients and wrap it all up. So the last phase or last P in these 4 Ps is positioning. Positioning, I think, is like a favorite of mine because, and I might have said the other ones are my favorite as well, but when God puts you in position, it's a readiness that only God can give you. And you can only get there because you have followed the steps and the things that God has put forth for you. So that's when you know that you are in alignment with God and something amazing is going to happen because you did not do it, but God did. And you allowed him to do that work in your life. And I think that that is an amazing thing. And whatever comes next in that positioning period, is only going to be beautiful, or as I say, it's only up from here because you know that God placed you there. So in the positioning phase, again, this is your readiness phase. God is preparing you for a new thing. Something is coming and you've done all the proper preparation of the work. So you had your productivity phase where you figured out how to plan, you figured out how to organize your schedule, you figured out how everything works together. Then you had your pause, you had your time with God. Maybe you had your time to cry and you just had very intentional situations in the pause phase. Then in your presence phase, you have spent time with your family, with your circles, with your support system. You've intentionally spent time with yourself, connected with God, tapped into self-care, hobbies, things that bring you joy. And then through all of that, now you are being positioned. So this is the moment where this is the work. You do the work. So positioning is not a winning phase because you are getting ready for a thing, but you still have to do work because what does the Bible say? Faith without works is dead. So you have to do your work and you have to trust God and believe that it is on its way. So get in position, whatever the thing is. For me, I would say that and as I'm telling you, these are the phases that I've been in as well, because there are 2 times a year where my productivity slows down. And it's typically when a lot of things are happening in my life. And the springtime is when the time that my dad passed away. So that grief keeps score. It knows, your body knows when things have happened. So that's a time where it's hard for me to do things because that grief just kind of takes over. And my kids in the spring, I have 3 birthdays from my kids in the spring. So that's a time that I really try to pour into them, or if we're going on a trip or having a party, that's their time. So again, it's hard for me to be as productive because I'm more either emotionally occupied with the grief, or I am, occupied emotionally with my kids and, thanking God for another year of them being on this earth and, celebrating them. And then in the fall, my baby girl's birthday, my husband's birthday, our anniversary, back to school around that August fall time, that is another busy season for me. And what I've seen in the past, I've also had that time where I just kind of take a pause and kind of shut down a bit. So I am trying to find a way to be more consistent and work around those seasons. But I realized because everything has been, so I just got off of my busy season of that August time. So I feel like I'm not in my winning season. And I have friends around me that are in their winning season and I support them. I love them down. And I'm a support. That's what I am. I'm a supporter. I don't believe in jealousy and envy because I feel like their win is my win and my win is their win. But I'll be remiss if I said it doesn't feel good sometimes when you aren't also winning, because it feels like, well, I'm behind or I'm not doing good because I'm not in that season. But we ebb and flow and we have to be okay with that. And if you do feel like you get envious or jealousy in seasons that you're not in, you should do some soul searching. Look within yourself and ask God, like, why do I feel this way? Please take away these feelings or help me to explore these feelings of envy or jealousy, because you don't want to have those feelings, because that burden can really do a number on your heart. So I think forgiveness, being grateful for where you are, but also forgiveness for those things is necessary so you don't miss your blessing. And so God can prepare you for your position and your winning season. So again, we're going to reiterate those. You have that productivity phase. Oh, and before I wrap up, so after you are now being positioned, you've already done the productivity phase. So it's kind of a cycle. So you have been in position phase, and now you are in that productivity phase again. But now do it with a little more intention. So you don't have to have that shutdown cycle. Maybe you find pause within your productivity. You find time to be present within your productivity, and you still position yourself, because there's always going to be a next thing. If you're ambitious mama like me, there are other things you want to explore. There's other things you want to do. And I feel like sky is the limit, but I also know that everything can't happen at the same time. So I I want my whole house clean. Right now, I'm looking at toys everywhere. But right now, that's not the focus. I wanted to make sure that I filmed this video. I got it out. It was a lot of obstacles getting to it, but I did it, and it's getting done. And thank God that happened, but it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have moments of pause and stillness and being present with my family, because I don't want to neglect those things that are so important to me. And that's another thing. Think about, what are your values? What are things that you value and that are important to you? Because if you are in a season where you're not valuing or spending time with the things that are important to you, you're going to feel burnt. You're going to feel exhausted. You're going to feel depleted, and you're going to feel burnt out, because you need to tap into those things that make you you and that bring you joy. So those are the 4 P's. Let me know which season of the 4 P's you are in. Let me know if this resonated with you down below. Again, this is how I've been feeling, and I wanted to share because I know that I'm not alone. I know that we all go through our ebbs and flows. Even when you're in your winning season, you can have moments of doubt, uncertainty. Am I doing this right? Am I going to be able to top it? You feel pressured. Like, they're all different things. So don't feel like if you see somebody in their winning season that it's not going to happen for you, and that they still don't experience those highs and lows in a winning season. People that we see that are seem so successful, or all these celebrities, they still are going through some things, because we are human and we all go through things. So it's important that we pay attention in our own lanes. We seek God, and remember that we are beautifully and wonderfully made, and we are uniquely made in His image. So God has not made another person like us. So what we have to offer, those gifts, talents, and treasures that God has instilled in us and blessed us with to share with those that you are assigned to, or whoever in the world, know that they are special, and know that those special things take time to form and build. So don't feel like you are left out. Don't feel like you are behind, because it is happening. When your time is coming, your time is coming. In the Bible, I believe it's the book of Sarah. So I'm taking a brief pause to finish the soup while we wrap up our topic. So as you saw, once your potatoes are soft, add your meat back into your pot and stir it up a bit, mix it up together. You'll also see me chopping up the potatoes. That is a personal preference, because I like to break it down a bit. You can do that, or you can leave it as is. Being that the potatoes are soft and the soup is so warm, the potatoes are going to continue to break down anyway, but that's my preference. And then at this point, you can turn off your stove for the last 2 steps. Add your cream, mix it up in there, and then add your kale and cover your pot. You can turn it off, because the kale will continue to cook by the heat provided by the soup. So I just wanted to provide those steps, and we can get back to the topic. Okay, my SD card is full, so I'm going to try to wrap this up. But yes, the story of Sarah. God blessed her with a child at 90 years old. And again, our blessing doesn't have to take that long, but really the message here is that God will give you the desires of your heart in His time, in due season. So do the works, do the things that God has for you to do, whether it's a season of stillness, of pause, whether it's a season of being present, whether it's a season of doing the work, which is the productivity phase, or in that positioning when you've done all the things required and you now just have to get in position, and God will bless you with the next steps. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe that you can do it. I can do it, because again, I feel like I'm in that season, and it doesn't feel good, but I know I just got off of a really stressful season of preparation. So I know that God is going to position me, but I have to do the work and I have to do the steps. So I wanted to share that with you as well. So I hope that it was helpful. Again, let me know down below what part resonated with you, what season you are in, how are you feeling? I would love to chat with you in the comments. Other ways that we can stay connected. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and tell a friend to subscribe as well. I will continue to have more meal planning, meal ideas, cook with me's to come. The food and fit series is here. This is the first of many. So I'll be sharing you my postpartum busy mom outfits and a cool meal, and of course meal planning, because a meal planning routine I think is key. It's so great to have when you have a busy week with the kids. So make sure that you subscribe. I'll also be doing some other content, live and things on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram as well. I also provide more resources on my newsletter. So sign up for my newsletter. I give freebies and resources and jam-packed information. So if you need a little bit more, you like what's on this channel, but you want to receive newsletters as well, join the newsletter. And yeah, make sure that you follow me and subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I hope this message resonates with you. I hope you enjoy the meal. If you try the meal, let me know down below. And I will talk to you on our next video.